Greetings fellow gamers. In today's video I'm doing something a bit more fun, which is rate the Genshin character design. Most people out there have been posting a lot of gameplay tier lists, but I don't see many design tier lists of some kind. I mean, I've seen some waifu tier lists or whatnot, but not the design perspective. So I decided to make one. It is rated based on their profile, overall design, and compared to the other characters. I will try to be objective, but this is bound to be a subjective one, so rate the character you design yourself if you don't agree with my opinion, and tell us about it in the comment section below. And also, I just want to throw it out there, playable characters in Genshin are very well designed and attractive, but some characters might be better than the others. So in this case, I'm gonna use out of 10 rating system, with 1 being absolute worst, 5 is like meh, and 10 is amazing. Currently there are about 18 characters for Mondstadt, so I'm gonna divide this video into 2 videos. And each character from Mondstadt are very fantasy-like, which allows a variety of character design. It's very different with Liu and Inazuma, where they are heavily influenced by Chinese and Japanese culture respectively. And without further ado, let's go and take a look at our Mondstadt's characters. Our Bell protagonist, we're gonna use him as a measuring standard because his outfit is not that outstanding. His outfit is very different from other characters for sure, but my overall impression of him was that he isn't that flashy due to his color scheme of brown and white and yellow. When I had to choose a protagonist, I like Lumine design more, but since I rarely select a female protagonist when given a choice in the game, so I choose Aether instead at the end. I do like some part of his character design, like the cloth wrapping wrapped around his shoulder. His braided hair has a very nice look. Wing-like cape on his back, which kind of shows that he is a heavenly residence maybe, and having some part of his attire glowing based on his element is a very neat idea. But sadly though, I'm not a big fan of some of his exposed navel area and glowing on his wrist. It's a bit out of place, I think, as a main character. I feel like as the main character, he lacks the impact and the oomph that we're looking for from a protagonist. And because of that, Aether design is plain and compared to others, so I'm gonna give him 5 out of 10. Moving to the second characters will be Amber. Amber the Outrider. The overall outfit suggests that she needs to move fast and a lot, which kinda complements her title as a Knight of Favonius, the Outrider and a Ranger. I really love her color scheme though. This is red, brown, and white. I think makes her rather flashy. Her dominant color red also matches with her pyro element, which I think is nice to see the character color matches with their element. And she does have a long and gorgeous hair. I think it's very attractive. And also the accessories around her body, such as the goggles, as in fact she needs it to protect her eyes when moving around and aiming with her bow maybe. And also the Knight of Favonius emblems are engraved on her shirt and her socks or boots. Also the bag on her side is a nice touch to have because her job suggests that she is out in patrol. She might need to bring few things with her or keeping things that she found on patrol. On her first sight, she might look simple, but her design is actually very impressive and neat with lots of details. And it matches a lot with her profile, so I think I will give her about 8 out of 10 from me. And I wish she gets a buff sooner or later in terms of gameplay, since I really do like her design and she needs more spotlight. Then moving on to our next character, it would be our favorite One-san. I do love her design a lot, but sadly I don't like her gameplay as much. Her color scheme of well-balanced white, black, and purple makes her design to be very eye-catching. Simple, but eye-catching. Of course, with purple as her dominant color suggests that she owns an electrovision. Like that once again, kinda matches with her element. Her overall character design definitely shows she is a very mature and charming woman with her knee socks, high heels, long hair tied to the front. And of course she loves flower, as is shown with the flower pattern on top of her attire and a few ornaments here and there. And the Knight of Favonius emblem is also on her top attire, which shows her affiliation with the Knights of Favonius. Really nice detail. And also her outfit suggests she is like a mage type with that witch hat, but not too stuffy like some other typical mage outfit like in Final Fantasy or something. But just like in other fantasy settings, mage usually is knowledgeable, which makes her profile as librarian. What I like about her design is that she looks very attractive, but not too excessive with the exposure. And for that, she gets a 10 out of 10 from me. She's very eye-catching. Just look at her. And moving on to our next character, Our other starting character will be Kaeya, the captain of the cavalry team. His overall design is pretty good, but when the first time he showed up, I thought he was either a bandit or pirate with his eye patch. Kinda suggests that he's kinda shady maybe. His color scheme is not bad, with black, light blue, and a few other blue variants, but not very eye-catching like what I feel about Amber or Lisa. I do love his cape though, which is fitting for his position of a captain. His boots and fingerless gloves are also nice, which means kinda edgy. I don't like his upper attire as much though, because it's a bit too busy in my opinion. There's a fur color, his vest, and also his long hair kinda like muddled together in that area. So it's kinda too busy, as I said. His color fur is way too long. I think his tight hair should be put at the back, and we can focus to see his shirt and vest better. I think that's all like if I want to improve Kaeya's design. Although sadly I do not spot a Knight Ravonius emblem on his design, which is kinda disappointment, knowing that he's actually a captain. But overall the design is good, nothing too crazy. I would give 6 out of 10, and if not for the reason that I mentioned that how the design can be improved, I would give him like a 7 or an 8 if those improvement is implemented. Moving to our next character will be the acting Grand Commander herself, Jean. Since she has 2 outfits, I'm only going to talk about her default outfit, and great additional costume will be done much later once we have more costume out there for other characters. So back to Jean. I do love her design. Like if you just take your time and actually appreciate it, because she has a very good color with white, blue, black, and gold being her primary color, and a little bit of red around her shirt. Not too busy, but it's still pretty good. She's a very pretty character, and is actually one of my favorite female characters in terms of her design. She's very pretty, guys. She ties her hair with a ribbon, which is a great since untied hair tends to be in the way during a battle, so kinda matches with her profile as a knight. And her clothes and accessories around her kinda hints that she does have a rather high rank within the knight, as other knights are not well dressed as her. And her shirt has Knight Favonius emblem, much like other knights, another good detail, which I really like so that we can tell her affiliation as a knight. And I'll really like her fancy gauntlet, because not only does it tells that she is a fighter, but also makes her cooler. Because like Kaeya, he only wears fingerless glove, while Jean has like a proper knight's gloves, you know? Her boots looks very cool too, but I think the heels are a bit too high and not very practical in terms of knight duty. And lastly, her earrings really highlight her beauty and kinda hinting that she has affiliation with the church, which is her sister Barbara as the deaconess. So that's a really good detail there, I think. And because of how cool and pretty she is, especially compared to other knights of Favonius, I will give Jean a 9 out of 10. And then we're moving on to our next character, Mona. Now, we're having the astrologist herself. Her design surely is out there and quite uncommon, but I do like it due to various reasons. Her overall appearance is very sexy, maybe trying to be mature. I know she's not that mature yet. She's like, what, 18? Or like early 20s? For her age, I think she's trying to be mature. And you don't see that many character that has this kind of showy characters, you know? And her color scheme very stands out with the blue, black, and red. I'm not sure her financial situation contributes to her clothing as not, as the wiki even said that her clothes is within affordable price. Despite the sexiness of the outfit, it does look good on her. Much like Lisa, she has her witch hat and it really suits her as a catalyst user, and she wears blue, which is kind of hinting that she has water vision. And her outfit really suggests that she likes stars because there are many star decoration on her, which includes compasses on her hat and thighs, the one on her chest, and also her left earring. She's a very well designed character in my opinion. I'm kind of conflicted between putting her 9 or 10. I have decided to put her at 9 because there are some other characters that I like more than Mona from other regions, so I'm gonna keep her at 9 at this point. And next, this is something that's gonna be super biased. Alberdo. The moment I saw his design, I was like, I want this character really badly. But sadly, I didn't manage to get him and have to wait patiently for his rerun. Before we go into his design details, I'm gonna give him straight 10 out of 10. So this is just my personal bias, and I just really like how he looks. His color scheme of blue, white, black is just composed of my favorite colors, which kinda gives the cool vibes. His overall outfit gives me the impression of knight and mage that is good with close quarter combat and also magic combat. I will explain why. He wears a coat like mage, a researcher that also has a hood, which kinda gives me a sorcerer vibes. Which I said he's also seem good for close quarter combat because his gloves kinda looks like a gauntlet from a knight. I really love the black at the outer side and red at the inner side of his gloves, which is a cool color. His boots looks like knight's boots, and the black and blue color makes it really cool. Talking about accessories that I like, the coat also has a chain at the back and symbol at the side of the coat, added the badass cool value to him. I believe Alberdo design is very protagonist material. I kinda wish that the protagonist is actually Alberdo because how he has this protagonist looks and also how cool his outfit is. Once again, I give him a 10 out of 10. This is just my personal bias though, I'm pretty sure a lot of people do not agree with me, so tell me about it in the comment section. And then we're moving on to our best boy, Benny or Bennett. His design is really good if you actually pay attention to it. He's an adventurer and his outfit is very adventure-like. His color scheme is white, brown, and blue. It's very well balanced, so there's nothing that is super catchy from Benny clothing in terms of color. He has scars and band-aid around him, really eye-catching, which probably comes from his adventure time in Misfortune. A good detail of his profile. I do really appreciate his detail though that they put in Benny, which makes him a rather cool character in his own way in my opinion. His overall outfit is very light, maybe to help him move easily. The goggles, which are usually worn by explorers, much like Ambers who travel outside a lot. That's really good detail. He also has an adventure-like bag that we usually see in fantasy, anime, or manga. And also the yellow bandana on his arm is a nice touch or an accessory to decorate his arm, so it's not just plain skin, too boring. Overall, Bennett is a very well designed character, but not as plain as the protagonist or Aether. But not too crazy like Alberdo or Mona or Jean, so I will give him an 8 out of 10. One thing that will bump him up a bit higher maybe if he added some kind of protection around him, because as an adventurer I think he exposed his skin a bit too much, and maybe a small piece of leather armor around his shoulders and also something beneath his shirt might make him a little bit cooler in my opinion. And then we're moving on to Razor. He is honestly one of my favorite DPS. I really like Razor as a character, and he was my first properly built character. But sadly, his character design does not resonate so much with me. His outfit does match his profile though, living in the wild life. He also has the scars all over his body, which also signifies his life in the wild. Sadly, his outfit is kinda underwhelming with the usage of the color scheme of dark green, brown, and slight gray, not the flashiest of colors. The fact that his skins are exposed in many different places does match his wildlife once again, since he can only put his clothes together in the wild. Unless someone brought him a clothes or he went to Mondstadt and started buying clothes. I assume he put those clothes together. I'm not sure how Razor managed to get so many belts around his coat though. That doesn't match very well with his design, and I'm not that big fan of that. His hood is pretty nice touch to hide himself and maybe protect himself from the rain, but I don't really like the color. If it was black color, maybe it would have been great, or something that blends more with the nature. One thing that I wish there were some animal decoration around him. There are animal bones, but I think fur will be better in terms of like aesthetics for Razor. Overall, Razor design is good and it matches well with his profile, but I think it's not that flashy or catchy, and the color scheme kinda makes him less stand out compared to other characters, so I'm gonna give Razor a 6 out of 10, an okay overall design. The last character for this episode will be Diona. Now we're taking a look at our cute little bartender, Diona. Diona design really managed to make her cuteness shine with her very cute color scheme of white dominant, white, blue, and pink, and slight yellow here and there. The cat team accessories like belt and at her bag really complements her feline race and also amplifies her cuteness, because cats are definitely cute, right? She has a canteen at her bag, and that's where she put her vision too. Additionally, her shoes have a paw pattern, which is a nice touch to emphasize her feline race. I wonder if her actual feet have cat's paw too. We can't see that, obviously, unless we get a new costume for her. But I'm not that big fan of her pigtail hair tied up to the front. But then again, due to her young age, I don't think it's a bad decision to have her hair like that. But my favorite part of Diona design is her hat, because I use her as a main berry for Eula and Ayaka, and I see her hat so often now I have grown quite fond of it. Her overall design is well done, and the designer managed to make her very cute, but I don't think it's not as impressive as other characters, but not as plain as Aether or too busy like Kaeya, so I'm gonna give Diona a 7 out of 10. That concludes the first episode of Rate the Genshin Character Design. This is a summary of the first episode. I will keep filling the table as we go through more characters, so look forward to it. We're going to finish the rest of the Mondstadt character in the next episode, plus Lumine, so subscribe to my channel to get notified when the episode comes. Once again, I apologize if any of the remarks that I made towards the character offend any of you. I try to be as objective as possible, but then again, it bounds to be subjective because it comes from my perspective. Thanks for watching, gamers. Look forward to the next episode. And how would you rate all the characters in Genshin Impact? Tell us about it in the comment section below. If you don't mind, do please leave a like on the video, it will help me greatly. Until the next video, stay sharp, gamers.